Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Yeji, like yay G, and my channel is all about saving money while traveling because let's be real, traveling can get really expensive. So you don't have to spend any money. Why would you, right? And if that sounds interesting to you, let's be internet besties and consider subscribing below, and let's get into today's video. So my family and I are based out of DFW, and so we fly American Airlines the most, and a lot of the times I use points to book these American Airlines flights. And so a lot of our friends are always asking me like, oh, how did you book the American Airlines flight? Did you use American miles? And I actually tell them that I use the British Airways miles instead. And they've always asked me like, oh, how do you do it? Can you show me how to do it? And so I thought this is a perfect opportunity to make a video out of it, since like a lot of friends, including neighbors, are always asking me about it. So it's pretty basic for a lot of people that have been in the credit card game, and they know how to transfer points over from like banks to airlines or in between airlines in some cases. But a lot of my friends are new to this. And I remember when I first started out, I was clueless as well. And I did like research into like, oh, okay, how do I make an account? And then like, how do I transfer things over? And so for those of you that are also starting out, I just wanted to share this video so that hopefully I'm making your life easier. Now, some people might be wondering, okay, Yaji, like, why am I using British Airways miles when I can book directly with American Airlines? And that's because American Airlines miles are kind of difficult to accumulate. The only way you can get a bunch of American Airlines is, of course, opening up credit cards and getting the welcome bonuses or like putting spend on the credit card. But Citi is the bank that are issuing these credit cards. Back in the days, Barclays was also a partner, but that is no longer the case. So Citi is the only option you have. And if you don't have any Citi cards, then you don't really have access to American Airlines. Whereas British Airways is partnered with 4 different banks: Amex, Chase, Capital One, and Wells Fargo. That is 4 different options to transfer over bank points to British Airways and then book the same American Airlines flights. So in other words, it's a lot easier to accumulate British Airways points, and therefore I'm a big fan, and I always book American Airlines on the British Airways portal. And another reason why I like the British Airlines portal is because American Airlines doesn't let you combine points with other people. So a lot of the times, different airlines will allow you to like combine points with family, at least, friends, I understand. But with family, it's nice to have the option to pool points. Well, American Airlines doesn't allow that. Each individual need to have their separate account, and you kind of are stuck, using your own points. With British Airways, you can pool points up to 7 people. So that's like 6 people plus you, total of 7 people. And that's like super amazing because if you're able to pool points from 6 people, of course, your miles are going to multiply a lot faster. And so you get to use those miles as well. Now, before we're able to transfer the points, of course, we have to make an account with British Airways. That's pretty straightforward. You sign up with British Airways and, the name, address, phone number, email, that type of thing, and then they'll give you a membership number. Now, once you have that number, you have to link it with the bank. I'm just gonna take American Express as an example. So if you go in the Amex portal, and I've already logged in just to simplify things, you'll go to rewards and benefits, and then go to dashboard, and under earn and redeem, there's an option to transfer points. And then it'll list you all the transfer partners of American Express. For us, it's going to be British Airways, so I'll go to airline, and then find British Airways. And I have the British Airways membership ID linked, but if you don't, then of course you want to link your British Airways account. Mind you, the names have to be exactly the same. So if you have first name, middle name, last name on American Express, for instance, you want to make sure British Airways also has those 3 names. And this is pretty immediate. I would say like within a day you can get points, and you can do this with all 4 banks. So if you have credit cards from all the other banks, you can also link your British Airways account to the banks. And once you do that and you transfer over the points that you would need, you would go on the British Airways website and you would go on the book tab, and it's right here. It says book a flight with Avios. And once you've done that, you can type in wherever you want to go. So for instance, like a popular route that we like to take is DFW to LAX, and I'm just clicking random dates. Usually I use points when I know the cash rates are going to be super high, so around the time of the holidays. So let's say Thanksgiving, you want to go to LA, maybe you have friends or family that you're spending Thanksgiving with. I'm just gonna say November 25th. And of course, if you want to do like super fancy, business first or whatever. Usually these are for like international flights. I mean, domestic, it's like domestic first is equals like a business class on most flights, you know? So you can choose your class. These are all the flights that British Airways offers, and you can like start flying 6 in the morning all the way down to 10:45 at night. And these are all nonstop. Like, of course, you know, not everything is going to be to LAX, as you can see. Some is going to be like Ontario, for instance. So you just want to make sure that you pick the correct airport that you're going to be flying into. And as of now, there's so many seats available. If I just click a random time period, it's going to cost around 20,000 Avios and $5.60. And those are taxes and fees. So 20,000 Avios, honestly, for a one-way flight is not bad at all. I mean, I don't know the cash rate of this right now, but if the cash rate is like $300-400 for a one-way ticket, especially during Thanksgiving, you know, things get expensive, then I think it's super smart to use Avios to book the flight. And Dallas to LA is such a popular flight, so there's a lot of flights that leave from Dallas. But a lot of the times, not all flights that are available on the American Airlines website is going to show up on British Airways, so just keep that in mind. You're booking through a partner, so that's just the downside of it. The times that you want to fly out might not necessarily be available, so you're just going to have to like work with it a little bit. But I'm someone that much rather use points and save my cash. So I'm willing to work through like not having like every available flight on American Airways. Like, yes, you want to compare the cash prices, but you also want to compare like how much is American Airlines charging, like American Airlines miles versus like the British Airways Avios. Is it comparable? Sometimes, let's say American Airlines can be more expensive, so then it's better for you to be booking through the British Airways portal. But sometimes British Airways might charge a little bit more, but there is that convenience factor of having access to 4 different banks compared to one bank with American Airlines. So that's just something to consider. Like, honestly, if there's not that much difference for me, then I would much rather book through the British Airways portal because of the options to transfer points over from different banks. And I don't have to rely just on city points, because a lot of the times I actually use my city points to transfer over to like Turkish Airlines, and Turkish Airlines is only partner with City and Capital One. So a lot of the times I would save my city points and then just go with like other banks to use for the British Airways portal. Now you can do this for pretty much like anywhere American Airlines flies to. I feel like you can find it on the British Airways portal, but of course there's gonna be those exceptions. But a lot of the times, if it's like short flights, usually if it's like domestic or anywhere near the US, then I think it's pretty easy to find flights. We use these Avios to fly to Houston, Cincinnati, New York, Boston, LA, of course. Like pretty much anywhere that we need to fly in the US, I would use the British Airways portal. And of course, like if you're flying internationally as well, I know that you can book flights to Cancun. That's what I like to do, especially like during Memorial Day weekend. That's when we like to go to Cancun. And so I book my flights this way because I know for a fact Memorial Day weekend prices are super expensive. Like the cash rate, I mean, so expensive that like I'm always down to book with points. One thing I will note about booking through the British Airways portal is that because you're booking with British Airways, sometimes like if you have an American Airlines credit card, it won't be linked to your British Airways account, right? So when you check in at the kiosk, it'll tell you to like pay for bags, but if you don't go to the kiosk, you line up to go see an agent, they're able to switch it to your American Airlines account, and that way if you have a credit card, then you don't have to pay for bags. It's just another step, and it can be a hassle, you know, depending on how many people are also in line in front of you. But I think in order to save money, this is really not bad at all, and we do this all the time. Like I book through the British Airways website. Once we get to the airport, we just line up. And even though you booked with points, it doesn't matter. You don't have to pay for bags if you're flying within the continental US, of course. If you're flying internationally, then yes, you do have to pay for your bags. So the Qatari royal family pretty much owns a lot of things in England. Like their wealth fund not only like owns a bunch of hotels and land and stuff like that in England, but also British Airways. Well, technically the parent company of British Airways, but that parent company has British Airways, Iberia, Aer Lingus, and a bunch of other airlines underneath it. And so that's why, you're able to combine into one account. You can kind of move your points around without having to pay anything. So if you have Qatar Airlines miles that you want to transfer over to British Airways, that's a great option as well. And of course, vice versa. So my parents actually fly Qatar Airways quite a bit, and we have like a family pool, and this is why family pool is very important, because we're able to pull points from their account as well, which is really nice. So it's the same concept of linking like American Express to British Airways. You would either make an account with Qatar Airways if you don't have an account, or if you do, you just need to make sure you link your Qatar Airways to like British Airways or any other airline that you want to transfer over your points to. And it's super simple. So you would go to dashboard and then view your balance. This is my mom's account, and as you can see, I've already linked her account to our like family pool. But if you haven't, you have an option down here that says like link your account. And like for instance, right now, you can like move points around, whether from British Airways to Qatar or Qatar to British Airways. Now, because we use British Airways quite a bit, every time there is like miles on like the Qatar side, I always transfer points over to the British Airways family pool just to keep things simple and, kind of see how many avios I have total that I can use. So if you do have family members that are using these airlines, then ask about pooling the points together. It's free and it's something nice. Whereas other airlines, for instance, and banks, whenever you move points over from one person to the other, there is a fee, literally a fee to move points over. And so that's not worth it, But Qatar, British Airways, etc., they allow this because, they're under like one parent company. So it's just a nice perk to have. Well, there you have it for my video today of using British Airways to book American Airlines. I hope this video was helpful for those of you that have never transferred points over. And I hope with this new knowledge, you're able to book many, many flights in the near future. And if you liked today's video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing below. And I'll see you guys next time with a different video.